What's going on, Setfu fam? Hope you're having a fantastic day. So I have a camera set up and I'm recording. So the part of, obviously, on the podcast, you're gonna hear the audio, and then if you want to just see me talking, you can go to my YouTube channel as well. But obviously, you know what your boy is about to say. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to listen to me. And in this podcast, in today's episode, it's going to be a very, no pun intended, juicy one. So if you heard my last episode, or actually if you did not, go listen to the last episode. Somewhere within, I talk about this episode as far as what it's going to be, which is PEDs, aka performance enhancing drugs, aka steroids. So if you're watching this, I'm not sponsored in any way, but if you want to get new workout gear or just lifestyle in general, you got Young LA. I'm gonna stand up. We got the thigh high shorts, and then we got the capped sleeves. Fire. Anyways, so steroids. In this episode, first off, disclaimer, I am by no means any expert or anything. I just paid attention, did my research, and got a little bit of experience. Do I think I'm an expert? Hell no. I just want to give or shed some light, give a little bit more clarification, because when I was doing some research, it was very surprising. I really didn't find much as far as like what I was looking for. And yeah, I was kind of confused. I went head first, didn't really think too much. And you're about to hear a very juicy story. So anyways, I've been on the fence of using PEDs. I've been training naturally, I think, from 2008, 2009, all the way up until 2020 is when I started, or is it 2021? One of those, right? So that's a very long time. I worked as a brick and mortar personal trainer. I've worked with numerous clients, different types of different body types, backgrounds, exercise history, things like that. Do I still think I'm an expert? Absolutely not. I just accumulated a lot of knowledge and experience over time. So, so I decided to do a little bit more research. I was trying to find out information, how to kind of get ready to take PEDs, what type to take, blah, blah, blah. Went to YouTube University, watched a bunch of videos, and there are so many compounds out there. You have testosterone, 3 different kinds. You have other compounds, trenbolone, Tran, Deca, D-ball, things like that. I wanted to kind of slowly get into it and not do what a bunch of people do, which is when you first start, you mix a bunch of compounds. So what I did was just basic testosterone. I chose testosterone testosterone. I think it's pronounced enanthate. Why is that? One, I asked, a friend or two, did a little bit of research, and again, I'm no expert. I'm not trying to sound smart or anything. It's well known. It's well used. It's popular, and it has, from what I understand, a longer lasting life cycle. And I ran with that. I think I bought 2 bottles, 300 milligrams, and I got even more confused. I'm like, okay, it's the bottle says 300 mgs, milligrams, and how in the syringe, the needle that I got says milliliters. I didn't understand anything like that. So I'm not going to go into too much detail as far as like how to measure, blah, blah, blah. But simply put, 1 milliliter equates to 300 milligrams of the whatever your bottle. So if your bottle is 250 milligrams, then 1 mil of that is 200. You'll get a dose of 250. So I started off ridiculously small as far as dosage. The recommended or the average dosage beginners take is anywhere from, I'd say, like 250 to 500 milligrams. You can either do 1 shot a week or you can do 2 shots a week. Really depends on you. For some fucking reason, I decided to do 2 shots a week. And I started off like, I think my first like 3 shots or less was like under 100 milligrams. Very fucking low. I didn't notice any results, any side effects, none of that. Okay. So I don't know what happened, but I literally logged everything in on my iPhone Apple Notes, and for some magical reason, it got deleted. So my cycle was about, I forgot, it got deleted, 12 to 16 weeks. I did 2 shots a week, and I progressed as far as dosage. Again, I started under 100 mil, and then I'm in under 100 milligrams, and then I ended at 500 milligrams, literally near the end of the cycle. That's when I really noticed the side effects, which I'll get into that here in a second. So I want to clear things up a bit. Don't just take it. So my perspective, opinion, feedback. Don't just take it just to take it. It is not worth it. I'm telling you right now because I'm still facing the side effects. Do not take it just to take it. I personally took it. If you heard I'll repeat from the last episode, number 1, because I wanted to enhance my performance in the gym, lift heavy, and just have better lifts. Not saying naturally I wasn't able to attain that, because I know some people on gear, and I've talked to them before. They told me their numbers as far as the big 3, squat, bench, and deadlift, and naturally I was able to push more than them unnaturally. So naturally, aka I've worked my ass off, right? But I just wanted to get that extra oomph in the gym. What else? Yeah, number 1, don't just take it just to take it. Number 2, do your research. Don't just listen to this episode and then go out and do it. Talk to people, do your research, really think about it, have a really serious conversation with yourself. If you have family, friends, a spouse, you're in a relationship, talk to them. It's best if they know. I did talk to, at the time, my girlfriend. And what else? What else is there? And be prepared to spend money. Yeah, you're gonna spend some money. It definitely is not cheap. It's very pricey. So the things I bought, obviously the 2 bottles of test, my needles, the syringes, wipes, alcohol wipes. Again, those are pennies on the dollar. And what else? Yeah. So we'll get into my how should I say, the first time I pinned. So obviously, if you're watching this, you see I have a lot of ink, a lot of tattoos on me. I'm not really afraid of needles, but the thought of me pinning myself, poking myself, injecting myself, I wasn't scared, but I was like, kind of iffy about it, right? Versus going into a shop, getting under the needle at a tattoo shop, not really afraid. So for the longest time, I pinned on my delts. I again, like, beginner, rookie mistake, whatever, right? Um, I literally went on YouTube and the internet and kind of did a little bit of research on injection sites, things like that. The the most famous ones, or the most popular spots, your delts and your glutes. I did my delts just because I didn't like pinning. Yeah, the thought of just pinning my butt. Yeah. Anyways, excuse me. So I started pinning on my delts. I would do 2 shots a week. Whatever dosage for that week, I would split it into 2. So obviously, starting out, I did 100 milligrams. That would be 50 milligrams twice a week, 100 divided by 2. And then obviously, the higher I went up, I made sure it was an even number, as far as like I could evenly divide it within that milliliter syringe. So example, like 300 milligrams is divided by 2. That's 150 milligrams of test. Um, so let's see. I think when I got up to like 400 milligrams of test a week, that's when I really noticed the side effects. So the side effects that I experienced was acne, back knee. I have acne in the front now, and then on my back. It was really bad on my back. Nothing like that was like pussing or anything, but yeah, I had acne. So to give you a little bit of background, I growing up hardly had any acne. I may have a pimple here and there, but yeah, I've never had acne before. So this is literally the first time I've ever had acne in my life. The whole, I think it really depends on the user, because everyone's different, right? Everyone gets affected differently from different things in life. When it comes to steroids, you hear all this thing about roid rage, blah blah blah. That wasn't the case with me. I didn't experience any type of rage or whatever. All I experienced was the acne, and this I didn't do too much research. I think I was just tripping one time, not like off drugs or anything. Was hair loss. Like I kept brushing my hair one time in back when I was back in the day, and back in the day it was recent, but yeah, I was brushing my hair and like hair would constantly fall out, and then after that it stopped. I think I was just tripping one time. I'm not too sure. If I do it right now, not really much, but when I was doing it back before, like a lot would come out. So I don't know if that's a thing or not, but potentially hair loss. As far as the pros, again, I didn't train for aesthetics. So as far as diet, my diet wasn't the shittiest, but it wasn't like contest prep on point, things like that. I just didn't give a fuck about diet. I mean, I still, ate I tried to do minimum my body weight or whatever. So they say your protein intake is anywhere from 0.8 grams per pound of body weight to 1.15. And yeah, I tried to keep it around that range. So AKA, I kept my protein intake high. Carbs and fats, I kind of just went with it. Just ate intuitively. So things I've noticed, pros. I got very strong, very fast. I took PEDs a few months after I had COVID the first time, and I missed the gym. I got hella weak, things like that. So my strength skyrocketed. I got very strong, very fast. What else? Recovery. I really didn't get sore anymore. Um, for some of you dudes out there and females, don't take it just for this reason, but my sex drive was through the roof. I I was pretty horny a lot of the times. Um, yeah, the junior down there was on point. So I'll kind of get to near the end. So as I was coming off cycle, I got hurt. I tweaked my lower back, and that really, that really, actually, pause right there. I'm actually going to talk about the pinning. So the first few times, the needle that I had, I think it was 24 gauge, 1 point. It was a certain size. The needle was very thin, right? And I only bought so much from this supplier in town, and I started pinning on my delts. I started pinning on my delts, and because of scar tissue, building muscle, it got harder here. It was very hard to pin, even though I was taking turns on delts. And over the next couple weeks, it started getting really hard to pin, and I would mess up. For example, like if you're watching, I would pin. Let's say I pin on my right delt, right? That day is the right delt. I would do my normal routine before pinning, which is put the desired amount into the syringe, and wipe, do my cleanliness, whatever, wipe off the injection site, and then stick it in. Well, because of scar tissue building muscle, it got very hard to pin. So literally, I would poke the needle will kind of go in, or it wouldn't even go in at all. It would just touch the surface. And from what I read, you don't have to, if you can't get that one all the way in, you be smart to not reuse that. So I would throw that away, switch the needle, blah blah blah. And then I remember at one point, I didn't want to run out of those needles, so I went online to find those same needles again. Couldn't find it, so I bought a size down. I was at 24, and then I went down to a 23. It came out to be very fucking thick. I could not get that in me. Either one, I was, excuse my language, a little bitch, or two. So sorry about that. I had to change the battery on my camera because Anyways, so where was I? So I was either a little bitch, or the site got harder. I would change needles, things like that. Where was I leading? Oh, so then I decided to, several weeks in, change the injection site to my glutes. So I had, over the course of 12 to 16 weeks, I had one really bad pin, and that was on my glute. The first time, my first shot, I think, was on it was on the right glute. So this is, it was fucking bad. So I literally I couldn't pin on my delt, and I went on YouTube, started doing research on injection sites via the glute, and I pinned from what I thought the right site because it went in fine, and then did my thing. And then when I took the needle out, there was no blood coming out. I was like, okay, cool, great. But apparently I either number one, it wasn't even on the site where it's supposed to be. I literally pinned near my side, like the hip. And over the course of the next several days, my side, like where the glute is, literally grew into like a golf ball, and it got very fucking hard, and it was very red. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like, even if I was wearing a pair of jeans, like that spot was very hot. It was like warm, and I don't know if it got. It's fine now, but I don't know if it was infected, because I changed needles. Right, I didn't like pin my delt and then like, oh, take it out. Oh, let's no. I changed the needle. I re-wiped everything. I think I just like hit a nerve or whatever, but yeah. And then after that, it was fine. Like I was pinning the right ones. Um, there were times where I had other bad pins, not as bad as that one. So what I learned from pinning is cramping. Like, make sure like the day before you pin, make sure you're like, for example, it's kind of hard for me to explain, but now that I'm thinking about it, so let's say when I was pinning on my delt, if you're watching, it would look like this, right? Use the opposite arm, pin the opposite delt. So if I trained chest, right, and I'm crossing over, I would cramp up so fucking hard, and it would make me like really hard to stick that needle in, right? Because chest, you're doing flies, squeezing your pec, blah blah blah, right? That fucking sucked. Another one is if I'm pinning on my glute. So what I did was, if you're watching, twisting the body, same hand, same arm, pinning the same side glute. Well, if you're twisting, right, if you train back, your lat, my fucking lat cramped up, or even like my torso, waist area, turning, I would cramp, and I would have to like adjust myself literally like mid pin, right? So those were some very bad experiences. Be consistent with your pins, aka, so what I did was around 7 to 8 a.m., usually around there. I would pin, be very consistent with that, be consistent on time and day. So my pins were usually Tuesday and Saturday morning. I don't know why I picked those days, but they just ended up being those days. And yeah, it was fine. What else? Though yeah, those that's pretty much like my experience. So let's fast forward to I think, yeah, I was talking about coming off cycle. So I got hurt my lower back that while on cycle, and then I finished the rest of the cycle kind of like not really lifting heavy, which was very disappointing. It wasn't because of the gear, the steroids. It was just because I got injured a few years back via my lower back, and I did something something very stupid. So the first time I injured my lower back, I was deadlifting like 500 pounds at like 5 a.m. in the morning, and then this time I was doing shoulder press. Not even 100 pounds. It was like 80, 90 pounds, 90-pound dumbbells. But the fucking bench was uneven. Like I was on a bench that was like even, like, so those adjustable benches that that you can adjust the top and bottom where you're sitting at, and the back support. Well, the one I was on was perfectly even, perfectly fine, but I was just too lazy to walk back and forth to get the weight. So I moved over to the one closer to where the weight, literally right in front of the weight that I needed. And yeah, the part where you sit on was uneven, right? So if you're sitting on the bench, the right side was lower, the seat, and that fucked up my lower back. Anyways, what else? Yeah, so that was disappointing. And I guess that leads to the conclusion. How am I feeling current day? And do I have any side effects? Blah, blah, blah. So as of today, current day, there's one thing that, so I still have the acne. It's definitely improved. I haven't taken anything to kind of fix it or whatever. I don't know too much about my back. My fiance says it's better, but I can obviously see the front, so I still have it. But the one thing that I'm still affected tremendously, that I have been doing a little bit of research and trying to fix it, is my. This is me being vulnerable here. My sex drive, the junior down there, it doesn't work. My drive just is not the same anymore. If anything, I just don't want to do it. I don't have that energy or whatever. And as a man, as a male, that is very, very disheartening. I am probably going to go to the doctor for that. I don't know if I need any like hormone replacement. I did do some blood work post. So another tip, you don't have to. Some people do. I did. I did some tests before hopping on gear, which was only like I think it was I did one test before hopping on gear and one test during, and then another test after. So the first test, I just did a basic testosterone exam, kind of seeing where my natural test levels are at. I think it was like at 500, 530. I think 530 nanograms per deciliter, something like that. Then during cycle, I took the I think complete metabolic panel. I'm no science whiz guy or whatever, but I'm just naming the test that I took. I'm not going to go too in depth on that. And then so I did PCT. So after obviously you got to do your PCT. After 2 weeks after my last injection, I took Arimidex. Did quite a bit of research on PCT. And then I just took Arimidex because there's this guy my girl knows, takes gear, and that's what he recommended. So I took that. Let's talk about side effects on PCT. Since we're on the topic, I don't think I've got any side effects. I don't think I did. Just popped a pill every other day until it was gone, and then done. Then after that, I think like a week or two after PCT, or several weeks, I went online and looked for a like post-cycle like steroid specific exam. Found that, purchased it. If you want the name of that or whatever, I think I went on like Discounted Labs. Just Google it, you can find it. The internet's so powerful. I took that, and when the results came back, my testosterone level is like at 300. There's a meter. It's still within the green, but that probably explains why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling. So that will lead to my next conclusion. Experience. Is it worth it to me? Whether if I'm in a relationship or single, I honestly don't think so. Just because the pinning, obviously the pricing, and then you really damage your body. Like, you really fuck up your body. And I get it, we're all gonna die one day, to each their own. I'm not gonna judge you. Just for me, it's not worth it, especially with how I'm feeling right now, just kind of losing my manhood in a sense. Like, I can't, like, it just doesn't function down there. And like, this is embarrassing. This is me being vulnerable. This is not looking for attention or anything. But like when it gets up, I can't keep it up for long. It just like it just doesn't work, and it's very fucking sad, frustrating, disappointing, disheartening, whatever. But yeah, I just don't think it's worth it. Do I plan to go back on cycle? Probably not. I've achieved, like, I don't care for aesthetics. I really don't. Especially with like kind of where I'm at in life, as far as like being a family man, things like that. I just don't need to. My priorities are family, business, just life experiences, and steroids. Like it was a great experience. I wouldn't say great. It was an experience. I learned a lot from it. It definitely cleared the air as far as like some of the opinions, perspectives that I had about it. I would say if you're really have a talk with yourself, family, friend, if you want to, but it's a very big decision. Because I'm hoping it didn't happen to me, but from what I hear, some of the damages are permanent, and you have to live with that. And I don't know about you, but for me, I do plan on living a long, healthy life, and I just don't need that. There's tons of people out there that take it, that are fine. That's great. Just from the experience that I went through, I'm not. So this podcast, again, I'm no doctor or anything, so please take this information with a grain of salt. Do your research. Go, seek professional help. I'm simply just sharing my experience with you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. If you want, but I think that pretty much covered my experience from literally A to Z. So yeah, other than that, I hope you really enjoyed this episode. I don't know how long it was. Probably I'll find out when I edit. But anyways, yeah, I hope you really do enjoy this episode. I hope you get something from it. It would mean the world to me if you shared it, especially with this topic. I know there's tons of people out there who are currently doing research right now, or who are looking into it, or who are on that fence of should I take it, should I not, or who are on the fence of I'm about to buy and take this. Share this episode. It would mean a lot to me. I'm not asking for like any monetary value or anything like that. Then also, if you are needing help when it comes to your fitness, fat loss, weight loss goals, bodybuilding, mass building goals or whatever, reach out to me. I'm free. I'm available. I'm here for you. I'm here to help you achieve your goals. I do have a few spots for some clients. And yeah, let's have a conversation. Let's get on a call and see what we can do for you. So other than that, have a great day. I know holidays coming up. If I don't hear from you then, happy Memorial Day, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace out.